Rockets Celtics.
And welcome to Sports Talk on a beautiful Friday evening. This is the Friday edition. I'm Dr. Jerry Green, along with my good friend, Big Don from Big Don Production. How you doing, my brother?
Everything's good. Everything's good.
And we got the legend sitting at home tonight, Bruce Austin. What's up, my brother? God bless you, man. How you doing?
Beautiful, brother. Never complain.
You never do complain, Bruce. That's why I got you on
Never
this.
complain.
We got the Bishop all the way in Maryland with his Vikings in the backdrop. The greatest bishop, and I'll say the greatest bishop in the world, Bishop Ernest Richard Power to Stand. How you doing, my brother?
Yeah, they say I can put a word up, but I can't pick a team. I ain't thinking about what they got to say.
What that shirt say? What that shirt say? Hiking?
It says Vikings. Don't start no stuff.
I see you guys gonna go at it already, boy.
You're gonna go at it already. I wish I could get that video to you, Bruce, because when you see your Cowboy fan and the way he was whimpering. Man, I'm gonna be. I gotta go to the doctors, man. Something's wrong with my stomach laughing at that.
But let me do say that I want to welcome everyone on the WJRG television network on the KIM media broadcasting. We're excited because God has blessed us to be on television. We're also live on Facebook and YouTube, but most importantly, we're on television live tonight. So I'm excited, and we're gonna get started tonight. I want to thank my wife for watching as well, and Pastor Miller and everybody from KIM for watching. Bruce, let me start with you, bro. The Pittsburgh Steelers lost last night to the Cleveland Browns in a snowstorm, looking like a game. I tried to watch that game. How much did that hurt Pittsburgh, man? You know, did the snowstorm kind of hurt them or what? The Steelers.
I mean, everybody played in the same weather.
Okay, but
you know, anybody know that when you're playing in those kind of elements, it's going to affect the game.
Yeah.
One way or the other. You just got to do what you got to do. You know what I mean? In a game like that, only thing you say is best team at that time win. You know what I mean? But don't forget, Cleveland beat Baltimore, last week?
That's right.
And it wasn't no snow.
Okay.
So that means that they're better than what people give them credit to be with Jameis in there.
I mean, but would you say, I'll get to the Bishop, would you say Cleveland played better with the competition? So let's say, for example, if Cleveland got to play the Kansas City Chiefs, would they play them better than they'll play like the New England Patriots? You know what I'm saying? I mean, because is their record is deceitful, meaning that they could beat Baltimore, they could beat Pittsburgh, then they might lose to the like I said, maybe the Tampa Bay next week, or lose to the Patriots. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, but let me say something on that, man.
Go ahead.
Jameis Winston came in there. And he one of them guys he's a natural leader. He's very vocal.
Okay.
And if you watch that game, the defense, people always said that Cleveland had a great defense, but they wasn't playing that good. And Jameis then brought the confidence back in them guys, man, and they playing some ball.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? That's the difference in that team now. They put Jameson in that lineup. And he's what Cam Newton called a game manager. He's managing the game just enough to win with the defense that he got behind him.
Okay.
And if you don't watch out, they're going to beat you.
Go ahead, Bishop. What you think about the
first and foremost, it was kind of nice to see an old school football game. I mean, with the snow and everything.
Yeah.
But and really, I'm going to simply say that Pittsburgh sort of kind of stuck their own foot up their own behind. Folks, don't fall out. It's just the same, okay? For those of you that are watching by way of Roku TV. But the truth of the matter is, they had every opportunity to, and I looked at it, and I think you both, you Bruce, you Don, and you Jay will agree with me. In that fourth quarter, with about 3 minutes and 20 some odd seconds left, when they failed to get that first down, first thing I said to myself is Pittsburgh is losing this game. Cleveland looks good. They play good. Winston seems to have his head on his shoulder. A couple of bad passes, but nothing really out of the ordinary. A couple of interceptions. I mean, that's Winston. He does that kind of thing. Running game seems to be a little not loose. Chubbs did okay. His receivers are waking up. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, how on earth are these receivers that wide open? What are they playing? A 3-4 prevent defense? Let's go get lunch. We'll be back type of thing. I just couldn't figure it out, man. I sat there and I picked them in our sports talk picks. I picked Pittsburgh to win. Hey, Tomlin, if you listen to me, I can't pick y'all no more, man.
Well, I picked Pittsburgh too because they had a better record. I mean, they only won something like 3 games or like 3-7.
I picked them purely on talent and purely on what they would have the capability of doing because, I mean, their running back, I mean, I expected him to do better than he did, and they got some great receivers, especially Pickens. You know, I'm waiting for these guys to, and then having J.J. Watts as your pass rusher. I think J.J. Watt did get to the quarterback a couple of times, kind of late. But, you know, and then I got to say always the referees make 1 or 2 bad calls. There was a roughing the passer call, man. I'm thinking to myself, you better be glad I ain't on that field, bro. Anyway, but respectfully saying, Pittsburgh had every opportunity to win, and they failed to get the job done. At the end of the day, when the smoke clears and the snow is taken off the field, Pittsburgh, that's an L.
Well, I guess I saw it a little different than the rest of y'all because I think the snow played a big role in it myself. I understand what Bruce is saying. They both playing the same game, but sometimes one side ain't ready. And when you ain't ready, you're going to get whooped.
Right.
So, I don't see Cleveland Brown all that strong this year just because they won that game. They made them look good. But that game last night, that was a pretty good, easy win for them because I think Pittsburgh just wasn't ready for that weather. I mean, it was. When you look at it, it was snowing hard.
Right.
Yeah, but Don, don't forget, it ain't like they played Miami. Pittsburgh got the same weather Cleveland got.
They got the same weather. That don't mean they was ready. This was the
They
first
got to be. That's their home field. They got to be ready.
It don't mean they was ready.
No, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but the weather.
But the weather played. I understand, but I think in my mind, like I said, we all watching the same game. But in my mind, the weather played a big win.
Oh, I agree.
In that game.
I agree with that.
On a good day, Cleveland would not have won that game in my mind.
No, I agree with that. But the only thing I'm saying is the weather shouldn't have made a difference for them because they play in the same weather.
Oh no, but to your point,
I'm not saying it didn't affect the game.
That's right.
I'm saying that by them playing, it's not like they came from Miami and wasn't ready for that kind of weather. That's the same weather they play in.
I hear you.
So they shouldn't have had to make no adjustments. They should have went right out there and did what they had to do.
There's no real excuse, but they didn't come out playing like they was ready.
Right.
You can get caught. If I leave out of here tonight and it's pouring down, snowing out there, I'm probably going to be caught off.
I tell you what,
I didn't bring a with me.
I bet you know better than to go 60 miles an hour on it.
I tell you, now, real story, Bruce. I was preaching in Toledo, Ohio one time, and the person was taking me to the airport, and it was sort of kind of like it was in Cleveland. She was doing 60 miles an hour. I'm like, oh, Jesus, am I going to die tonight?
I know you had the front and back seatbelts on.
Listen, I was in the back seat, but I was praying hard, brother. Sister girl got it done, that's for sure.
Yes, but Bruce, it's somewhat, I know what you're saying, too, because both are playing the same weather, but I have to when I watched the game, too, I have to agree with Don a little bit. I think it caught Pittsburgh a little bit off guard, meaning that it happened, the snow was snowing real hard, and in other words, we can't wait to get out of here. In other words, we don't want to play in this. We don't want to play, even though it's snowing. We don't want to play because we're not at home. Cleveland fans at home. We don't want to play in this weather. That's how I looked at it from Pittsburgh. Their heart just left. That's how I looked at it last night.
Amen.
Good game. But anyway, let me move on. Bishop, how good will the Baltimore Ravens be going forward? Because there's only about 6 games left, right?
6 games left. Baltimore has to figure out, number one, how to get more touches to King Henry. Because, lately, their last 2 games, King Henry has not touched the ball the way he should have touched the ball. I don't know if they're trying to preserve him to get to the playoffs. That's a bad move because you got to get to the playoffs first. They're not getting Flowers the ball like he ought to. I can't think of their other receivers' name, their other deep threat. He had, I mean, and Lamar Jackson can't do it by himself. Lamar's got to understand, you got great wheels, my brother, but don't use them if you don't need them. Oh, did I say that out loud? He's not using his wheels. That's the problem right there. How good are they? Here's my point. Baltimore still has potential and the ability. They can still finish first in their division, but they've got to figure out how to get King Henry moving. And that defense.
Every talk show is talking about, every sports talk show is saying the same thing. When you think you're the head coach and you got Henry as your running back, shouldn't they see what everybody else talking about?
They should.
But you know what I see in this, Jerry? You know what I see in this?
What's that?
They've been so used to Lamar doing what he do. The offense coordinator falls right back into that same pattern.
Yep, I agree.
They did it in the conference championship last year with Kansas City. Same thing. They didn't have big man, but they didn't run Lamar. They want to make him a pocket quarterback, and that's not his game. That's why they brought Henry there. Now they got Henry. They still got everybody confused because, like Ernie said, they're not giving the man the ball.
No.
So the receivers, everybody seems like they're confused.
But that's where the coach got to come in at again. If you only had 13.
Offensive coordinator.
The coach is over the offensive coordinator. The coach is the one who got the final say. If I know you're not giving the ball.
A lot of teams, they let the offensive coordinator handle that. That's why a lot of teams said a coach don't have no job.
Mm-hmm. The coach
I'm not saying that he can't overrule them, but if you're the offensive coordinator, and every time you call a play and your head coach change that play, that means you don't need me.
Who gonna get fired? The head coach. Who gonna get fired?
A lot of times the offensive coordinator be out of there first.
No, a lot of times the offensive coordinator becomes the head coach. Believe it or not.
But Bruce, all I'm saying, if you're my offensive coordinator and Ernie's my defensive coordinator and I'm the coach, and if I see that either one of y'all is not doing what I feel is right for the team, it's my job as the coach to go to you or go to both of y'all and say,
no, I agree.
I
agree with that.
That's all I'm saying.
Because who the owner gonna look at when it's trying to let somebody go next year because they ain't playing no better than they playing?
I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. And all the coaches have meetings for just the coaches too, and they look at
right. And
they look at
each other.
But I'm saying in the game, when you fall back to them old habits, this is what happens.
Yeah, well, no
evidently the coach ain't saying nothing.
Right.
We see that. I mean, last year they kept him in the pocket, it hurt him. Now they put him back in the pocket, it's hurt him.
Right. So like I said, we definitely
with Henry.
Yeah.
We got to blame the coach without a doubt, man, because I mean, you got a good team, a team that some people pick to go to the Super Bowl, right? The team that is capable
now.
Yeah, a team that's capable of beating Kansas City, and now you got one flaw, and that's your flaw, not giving the ball to your running back. Then you should look at the film, and the film will tell you that. So
I agree. Like you said earlier, all the talk shows saying the same thing.
The same thing. Go ahead,
everybody see it.
No, they're saying the same thing, but again, and see, I'll say this too. If you're trying to pull the preservation card for Henry, now you need a short yardage running back, fullback, call it whatever you want. Somebody that can come in and get you those 2 yards, 3 yards, for them third down plays alone. They're waiting for Henry to throw these 97-yard runs up there, making everybody look like they're amateurs. But the truth of the matter is Baltimore, and most of these teams do it. Minnesota does it. Baltimore does it. The only one I don't see doing is Andy Reid. The Chargers do it. They fall back into the same pattern. And when they're in those patterns, these other teams can now read them. Baltimore, if you want to win, you're going to have to do something different. I got a great idea. Let Henry run.
Right. Listen,
look at those games where Henry had close to 200 yards rushing.
Yes.
But if y'all watch the game, Henry could have a good run.
He could.
And they send him right to the sideline. He'd be looking like he said,
why am I over here? Yeah. And I understand that. That's why I'm saying, Bruce, I think they're trying to preserve him for the latter portion of the season and the playoffs, which is a bad move because then he really doesn't get into a rhythm that's going to make a lot of sense. That's just my opinion.
I agree 100%.
At this point?
Yeah, they're in the playoffs.
All right.
They'll definitely make the playoffs. And when we get to our top 10, I had them in a good space, but I had to drop them a little bit, but they're in there. So we'll get to it.
If they do what we're saying that they should do, they'll be okay. The defense got to pick up. Let me give out this phone number too. This is Sports Talk on the Friday night edition. We have a phone line if anyone that's viewing us on Facebook or YouTube or our television network. The number is 475-227-2170. Give us a call. I'm Dr. Jerry Green along with Big Don Production, the legendary Bruce Austin, and our great Bishop Ernest Richard. And the phone number is 475-227-2170. Bruce, with you, should the Cowboys go after Bill Belichick or primetime Deion Sanders as the next head coach and get rid of Mike McCarthy? Yes or no?
Got to bring Prime in there. He won't come though. He won't come. But if I had a choice, it would be Prime.
Okay, well, why over Belichick?
Because Belichick is old, man. He getting old. You need that young. He got that oomph right now.
Okay.
And he's a disciplinarian too. Them guys will listen to Prime. You know what I mean? Bring the same staff. Bring everybody from Colorado right with you. Everybody.
So the guys gonna listen to Prime?
Sure they will.
They won't listen to Belichick, you don't think?
Belichick, the game behind him, like I told y'all earlier. Belichick ain't win nothing before Brady or after him.
Okay.
He won on a staff with Parcells, but as head coach, he haven't won anything.
Okay.
Other than with Brady, he haven't won a thing. And his record don't look that good.
Okay,
as head coach.
Okay, but didn't he bring in some of the players that helped Brady and all that? I mean,
you can bring players in. Look how many players Dallas got, and they ain't doing nothing.
Thank you.
You need a coach, but I'm saying no team gonna win without the players.
But I'm saying, but look
what we just said. Look what we just said about Baltimore.
Right.
Oh, they got the talent, and the coach is messing it up.
Right. Okay.
So it makes a difference. It makes a difference.
Everybody was saying that Bill Belichick was probably the greatest coach ever. I heard.
Leave me out of that because Walt didn't like it because I kept saying Brady was the man that made that team.
He did.
That's why. And then me and Walt were going at it behind that because Belichick knows it was Tom Brady. So leave me out of that part.
Hey, Don, and to add something to that, Don. A team with Brady on it, and as soon as he leaves, they drop that far down.
Well, let's go back and look at his previous record, and I'll give my opinion on who they should bring in for a coach too, and I'll tell you why. Let's go to he went first. He went first to the Jets, and then he went to Cleveland. What did he do there with New York? What did he do the next year with Cleveland? It wasn't until he got to New England and got. And actually, Brady was already there in New England. And if it wasn't for the fact that was it Tony Eason, I believe, who was the quarterback at the time?
No. What's my man name? Bledsoe.
Bledsoe.
Was it Bledsoe or Eason? It was Bledsoe because
Bledsoe.
He
lost the job the same way in Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that Bledsoe got hurt, we wouldn't know who Tom Brady was.
Exactly.
And then he turned around and he had mediocre running backs, mediocre receivers, ended up with a Randy Moss, ended up with Gronkowski, and ended up with Edelman, I think his name is.
And don't forget Branch, he got the MVP of one of those Super Bowls.
Yeah, well, I'm saying, that was the first Super Bowl, but it was Super Bowls 2, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th Super Bowl. That's when they started really collecting a team and creating that dynasty. So to answer your question, Jerry, I wish Prime could come, and he's already said he's not following after his sons. He's making and molding his sons. The idea of coaching in the NFL is nice, but he feels like he does better trying to train and get these young men ready for life in general. Prime's the kind of coach, this is what he does now. He got any players that's failing any subject, he gives them 2 weeks to pull themselves together, or they will be sitting on the sideline. They're going to be put off the team or temporarily suspended from the team until they get their grades up. And to me, that's what ought to be happening in college football to begin with. We shouldn't put the sport ahead of these young men and young women's futures. So I wish Prime could come, but unfortunately, here's what Dallas is tanking the season. Let's just be real about it. They're tanking the season. They put Rush in. What was the matter with Trey Lance? I think Trey Lance would have been hey.
Trey Lance wasn't the backup. Rush was.
Well, see, the problem
they wasn't going to elevate Lance over Rush.
Yeah, well, you know, I said it before.
Matter of fact, Lance is worse than Rush.
And Bruce ought to know.
Yeah, that's why they rushed him to third string.
Bruce ought to know.
Yeah, I mean, the truth of the matter is, no, Dallas is tanking. You might as well say they're tanking the season so they could possibly end up with the #1 pick. And, you know, Shedeur Sanders is probably going to end up being your overall #1 pick. And then Hunter. It might go Hunter and then Sanders, or it might go Sanders and then Hunter. But those two guys are coming out in the top 3 some kind of way.
Yeah, but Ernie.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I'm a Dallas fan. And
I know you are.
Let me tell you this.
Go ahead.
They haven't won since '96. How many first round picks you think they had in that time? And they did
I can tell you right off the top of my head.
Everybody keeps saying draft picks. They don't do nothing with their draft picks. They got good draft picks every year.
I agree.
And they don't do a thing with them. So they don't need draft picks. They need some veteran receivers in there to help CD Lamb. Mm-hmm. And they need some big boys on that line to stop that run.
Bruce, that's your question though. Do you think it's just too much pressure for the Cowboys? I mean, I know a lot of franchises we could say like the Yankees, the Celtics, the Lakers, but the Cowboys, I think, is probably got the biggest fan base in all of them. The Red Sox. Do you think it's
fan base got nothing to do with talent?
That's right.
If you look at the talent on Dallas' team, put them up against the 49ers and who got the best talent? Put them up against Philly. Who got the best talent?
But there's no pressure in San Francisco, though.
Forget pressure. Ain't no pressure on the Cowboys. Don't believe that. Ain't no pressure. They don't have the talent. They got one receiver, CD Lamb.
That's it.
And just a year ago, people were saying he wasn't even a legit #1 receiver.
Yeah,
so that's because they got the name Cowboys. That don't make them great. You still need the talent.
Don't forget to add the fact that they sold off what little bit of running attack they had, got rid of Ezekiel Elliott, and expected Pollard to come in, and all Pollard do was see the front line and just lay down. I ain't seen him do nothing. And the running back they got right now, I think he's just a fill-in, man. I think it's the towel boy in disguise. That's my opinion, of course.
Listen, you need stars, man. You need stars to win in this league.
The Cowboys got that fan base by winning.
Right, exactly.
The Cowboys, that's when they became America's team.
Right.
So you don't just put too much pressure on them now. Because there was pressure on them back then, and they handled it. You got the right players, you can handle the pressure.
Right. Nothing to do with pressure. Nothing to do with pressure.
Over the last 5 decades, we can name Dallas. Everybody can name Dallas superstars over the last 5 decades. You can go back to the days of you can go back to Staubach, Craig Morton. You could name Staubach. You could name Troy Aikman. You can talk Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin, Lester Hayes. You can
Des Bryant.
Yeah, Des Bryant.
You know what I mean?
I mean, you
had Too Tall Jones, Harvey Martin.
Yes, exactly. But now you can only name CD Lamb. You could have named Dak Prescott if he didn't break his hangnail. But what we gonna do?
But Bruce, do you agree that the Cowboys probably got the biggest fan base out of all of them I just named?
I think the Steelers are slightly larger.
Don't nobody in the league have a bigger fan base than Dallas. That's why they work.
I tend to Steelers do.
I don't know about the Yankees and teams like that. They got
but they got a pretty big.
Only thing about Dallas.
The fan base is not why those guys are playing like that.
Exactly, Ron.
That's like you blaming the fan base.
Who's gonna play Thanksgiving?
All those guys, they're gonna play.
You want to win Thanksgiving or play Thanksgiving?
That's why they losing.
I'm not saying that's why they're losing.
That's what you said at first.
I'm saying it's too much pressure to play for a Cowboy team.
Saying too much.
No, it ain't no pressure.
Why they losing?
That could be.
No, it has nothing to do with it.
Nah, they don't have the talent. They don't have the talent.
They had talent a couple years ago, and they didn't.
When they had talent back in the day, that's when they built it. Everybody was stepping up to the plate.
We
got two guys that you know on the team.
Who's the highest paid quarterback in the league?
That.
What team he play for?
Dallas.
They should be winning then.
Come on, man. Hey, Jerry, come on, Jerry. You know better than that.
Maybe just that Dak stink. How about that?
Hey, Jerry, you know better than that, man.
Let's just put that out there. Why don't we? Yeah. You know, it's not that Dak stinks. Let me defend Dak for a minute. When your front line can't give you at least 3 seconds to set and throw the ball, you're on the run every other play, or you're getting sacked, you're being pressured or hurried up. If Dak had a more solid front line, it's possible that he might be a more efficient quarterback. So I'm going to defend him like that. You know, now it does help to have an outlet, a running back that can, stand and block, but take off when you need that outlet pass. I mean, how's Butterfingers? I can't think of what's your running back's name, Bruce? I can't think of his name. But every time he gets an outlet pass, you're wondering, was it a pass or a fumble? My goodness, America.
They got 3 guys. They got Daughter.
Listen, even God's picking a new team.
I'm going to help Dak out, too. Under that kind of pressure, you ain't got time to think about the fans, do you?
You ain't got time to think about nothing except try to.
Got time to worry about being.
I agree.
Running at you all day.
Yeah, fans ain't got nothing to do with that.
You're running for your life, man. The fans are jumping the bandwagon anyway. You should see
Jerry, who's the best player? Who's the best player in the NBA?
The best player in the NBA. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't get to that one yet, but I had to pick.
Yeah, but let me ask you this then. Let me help you out a little bit since you just made a statement. Who's the highest paid? Who's the highest paid in the NBA?
Highest paid player in the NBA. I don't know, Bruce. Be honest.
Now, if he had said,
I bet it ain't the best player.
Hey, Bruce. If you had said who's the highest paid rookie, I say he's now in the G League.
Leave Bronny alone. Right?
I ain't bothered, Bronny. I'm just saying it's the truth. He's the highest paid rookie in NBA history.
Who's the best quarterback in the league right now? Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson.
Hey, come on, man. You know it's Pat Mahomes.
True.
You ain't got to go no further than that.
No, you don't.
Well, you're going to name a whole list for you that said Pat Mahomes already.
Well, Pastor picked Josh Allen the other day, I think. Pastor.
No. You didn't say who's playing the best now.
No.
You didn't say who's playing the best right now. You said who's the best quarterback.
Who's playing the best?
Difference.
Who's playing the best?
I mean, if I had to pick MVP right now with quarterbacks, I would give it to Josh Allen. He's playing better than all of them right now.
Better than everybody. And then followed closely by Herbert, who seems to be coming on strong.
Yeah, he's playing pretty good too. I mean, they 9-2, 8-2?
Exactly.
So if you look at somebody right now, the MVP would be Josh Allen.
Yeah. Allen, Herbert, or even Daniels. Either one of those 3. Daniels may not be playing that great. Didn't play great in his last game, but
what Daniels?
Yeah, from Washington.
No, he out of it now.
Oh, is he? Oh, he's
still good for Rookie of the Year.
Well, he's gonna be all right for
rookie. He's not in the MVP no more.
So Don, your MVP and quarterback, who you got?
What's up with the Lions? Who's there?
Who's the Lions?
Eric, yeah, he's got to be in it too. You got to count him.
He's playing good, but I would still take Josh Allen over him.
I'd take Allen too.
Beating everybody, so I go on with him.
Well, he's beating everybody, but you know what? And I'll say this, and I'm not making this up. Golf, his numbers are better than everybody we've already named, including Mahomes. I mean, at the end of the day, I want to see Jared Goff in the playoffs because, I mean, like Purdy and all these other guys, he's great regular season. Playoffs come around. He did well last year, at least got to the championship game, but that one play. One play.
Yeah, but Ernie, don't forget he went to the Super Bowl with the Rams.
The Rams, and I understand that.
He already proved himself. He can play now.
Oh yeah, I'm not questioning his ability to play. What I'm questioning is when he's in a high pressure situation. You see, Golf hasn't been in a situation where the Lions are down 2 scores. There's 3 minutes left in the game.
If you're that good, you'll never be in that situation.
Yeah, but he's going to be in that situation real soon.
Yeah, but only thing I'm saying, he's been to the Super Bowl.
I know that.
That's all matter. He's been to Super Bowl. Josh Allen ain't never been to Super Bowl. Herbert, Dak.
Well, you know what? Josh Allen's got to break the curse of the Bills because they went 4 straight before and didn't win one under Jim Kelly. 4 straight. So he's got to come in and break that curse some kind of way.
Lost to the Cowboys twice, right?
I agree.
And they lose to the Cowboys twice during that stretch.
Lost to the Cowboys twice. Lost to the Giants on a 29-yard Scott Norwood kick that should have went through the upright, and all it did was hit the upright. Who was the third team he lost to?
Washington, right?
I believe it was Washington.
I think Dallas beat them 52-10.
Yeah, Dallas beat them twice.
That year, and Bruce Smith, after that Dallas game, Bruce Smith said, I quit.
So, Bishop, how good are the Minnesota Vikings going to be in the playoffs this year? You get them, are they going to win the first game or what?
I'm going to be honest with you. As Sam Darnold goes, so do the Vikings. Great defense, great second team, great special team, decent special teams. Let me say that. Offensive line is solid, but the problem is the quarterback. And I don't mind saying that Darnold is in today, out tomorrow, up today, down tomorrow, man. This is not dominoes, Mr. Darnold. You got to play, man. Keep your passer rating up and don't hold on to the ball forever, ever. You can't be running up to the doggone hot dog stand trying to get lunch while there's a game going on, my friend. Come on now. So you want to know how well I think they're going to do? They will get to the playoffs. Will they get to the Super Bowl? I'd love to say yes, but realistically speaking, if Darnold plays the way he's playing right now, this past game with the Titans, he looked good, but still not enough. Not enough. If Darnold can't play better than he's playing right now, Minnesota's finished in the second round.
Wow. What do you think, Bruce? Minnesota.
I still pick Philly to come out the NFC.
The NFC, okay. Philly.
It just seemed to me like they ready, man. I mean, they're clicking on defense. The defense look real great.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I put Minnesota in there with all the teams that you say that they might get out of the first round but don't go any further. There's a bunch of them. Yeah, you know what I mean? Minnesota, but then they got the teams, the upper echelon teams.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the Detroits. You know what I mean? The
Philly,
Eagles, Phillies.
Bruce, let's say if Minnesota had to play the Commanders in the playoffs, who you got to win that game? Commanders or Minnesota?
I don't know. I might have to go with Minnesota because of experience on that.
Okay.
And then on the other side of the coin, because of their head coach coming from Quinn, coming from Dallas, that might make a big difference with Washington.
Okay.
So that's one of them toss ups right there. They both of them is in that same category of they might get out the first round, but won't go no further.
What you think, Don? Any comment on that?
What was the question?
We're talking about the Minnesota Vikings.
I like the Vikings this year. This the most I ever watched the Vikings, I believe.
You think the Vikings come out the first? They think they win the first game or what?
Who they all depend on?
No. That's what we talk about. They had to play a team like the Washington Commanders.
I think they could beat the Washington Commanders.
I do too.
I'll go along with them beating the Washington Commanders.
But they couldn't be Philly or Detroit.
I get concerned, Jerry.
Detroit is going to be real tough on them. I don't think we could beat Philly or Detroit.
I wouldn't pick them over either one of them.
I'm agreeing with you, Don. They can beat Detroit because they proved that they could stay with Detroit. A last-second field goal is the reason why they lost to Detroit. It's not like they got blown out. Detroit has blown a lot of teams out. Minnesota's the only team Detroit has not blown out. Now, Philly finally finding their niche, tush push and all. I still think Minnesota can hang out with Philly. The problem here is, can they stop Saquon Barkley? That dude is a beast. Minnesota's ranked, I think, 22nd in stopping the run, which is not.
This is what I expect you to say.
No, but I agree with everything he said, though.
Listen. I don't want y'all to go at it, but
we can go at it. It's no problem because look, realistically
this is Sports Talk, the Friday night edition. We are live on the WJRG Television Network, KIM Ministries. This is I'm Dr. Jerry Green. We have Big Don show being produced by Big Don Production, the legend Bruce Austin, and our great Bishop Ernest. I'm gonna switch to basketball too a little bit.
Okay.
Bruce, Tyrese Maxey called out Joe Embiid.
Wow.
Say he'd be late for practice. That's what practice for the meetings, and he feels that he's not putting in the effort as a superstar should. Even Shaq called him out, and Joe Embiid has some comments for Shaq. I'll get into. Do you think Maxey was right for calling out Joe Embiid, the superstar?
Sure.
Talk about it.
Listen, you need somebody to call you out. If you know what a person is saying is true, if you're gonna be the best, you gotta perform the best on and off the court. You can't come into meetings anytime. Suppose everybody did that.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? Suppose the meeting start, ain't nobody there. Everybody late.
Right.
You know what I mean? You one of the leaders on the team. In order to win, that's what made Michael Jordan and Kobe, them guys, LeBron.
Yeah.
That's what made their team great because they didn't tolerate playing with guys like that.
Okay.
They would tell them, man, straight up, look, man, you better get it together. You know what I mean? You got to. It's just like what Dion just did. He banned all that dancing and stuff after they touchdown. You know what I mean? If you trying to win everything, you got to take everything serious.
Amen.
Okay? You know what I mean? You can't be out there clowning. You're down 20 and you're dancing around. You know what I mean? That stuff that ain't no good. That means you ain't gonna never win. So sure, Maxey was right. Call him out.
Go ahead, John.
Well, I definitely agree with Maxey being right. I was saying to Jerry earlier, if you put him back, Embiid in the Shaq days, he really been considered a baby.
Right.
He wouldn't been able to hang. We always talk about how tough the guys was back in the day.
Yeah.
How well will Embiid have been back then, acting the way he acting today?
Right.
He was the last no time. You know,
Max. Who was the center for the Knicks? It got traded to Phoenix. He would have been better than Embiid back in the day. At least it was tough. The thing is, Maxey did what he was supposed to do. You're going to be the leader of the team. You are going to be the standard by which the team primarily operates. If you're coming in lackadaisical, hey, listen, a wheel that has loose bolts eventually is going to come off. Would you agree? That's pretty much how he got. I won't say that's how he got hurt last year, but that was one of the reasons why he got hurt last year. You cannot step backwards. You got to move forward. You want your team to be in contention. You got to show them that you mean business. They're following Embiid. I mean, I could be wrong. You guys correct me, but I think the team.
Check this out, Ernest.
Go ahead.
The bad part about this is the locker room already messed up because the guy don't want to play. He playing every other game. He won't play back-to-back games.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, you got the nerve to be late too.
Yep.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's like adding insult to injury.
That's a bad precedent you're setting.
You know what I mean? Somebody like that. Can you follow somebody like that?
You know what? That'll be like you being my financial manager, and every time I see you, you got new cars and wild women, and you drinking all night. Whose money are you using?
Exactly.
You still driving the same old car?
Right. But to add something on to what Donald said about old school now, I agree with that 100% for another reason. Joel Embiid don't really play the big man role where he banging down low like them guys used to do back in the day. So if he out there shooting jump shots and stay hurt, what's gonna happen? He had to bang against all them guys underneath.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest. Shaq would have wiped him out. Elijah Wan would have taken him out.
Okay, but hold it. Let me stop y'all. Can Shaq playing these days? Where the kids are running a gun and shooting.
Sure, Jack.
They feel that Shaq couldn't play in these modern days.
Sure, Shaq could play.
Oh, I don't know.
Shaq could, because
That would kill these guys, man. Come on.
Run down court, you give him the ball, he gonna dunk it. A young
That's
Shaq,
all.
Listen,
That would kill these guys, man. Come on.
A lot of these centers today are soft, and Shaq would he dominated when he played in his prime. He would, he'd be almost the second coming of Wilt Chamberlain against a lot of these guys today.
What are you gonna do up against a young Shaq?
But
I agree.
What I'm saying, Bishop, everybody now is taking 3-pointers.
Yeah.
The game.
That's that European style of play, Jerry.
And Jerry, you ever hear about the Knicks and how much they miss Mitchell Robinson? This guy don't have no shot.
Okay.
He can't hit the rim on a layup. So it ain't all about shooting jumpers. They got plenty of teams that their center still plays center ball and they're not giving no production. Capella for Atlanta.
No, but what I'm saying, Bruce, is this here. Why Wembanyama is not down low at 7'5", and nobody in the league can guard him down low. He's out there taking jump shots.
Because there's no more Shaqs in the league.
Oh, but
Right.
If there was a Shaq in the league,
but he could
he
be
would be
Chamberlain.
dumb.
A good coach.
Kareem, 7'5", your arm is right there.
Yeah,
But the game has evolved.
The game doesn't change, but you ask, could Shaq hang today? Yes, doing the same thing he did when he came in the league.
All right.
That's what the whole league.
Yeah, but a good coach wouldn't put Shaq on Wemby.
But
No.
even Shaq first was young.
What Wemby gonna do with Shaq down low?
Nothing.
I mean, he'll still miss the foul shot, but he'll average 30 points inside.
Easy.
Real easy. Real easy.
Come on, man. You know good well Shaq could play today.
I mean, Wembanyama 7'5", but you got to remember.
I mean, no, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that Shaq wasn't a dominant force, but what I'm saying, the game changed so much because
It ain't changed that much. It ain't changed that much since Shaq left.
No, the big men have
tell
moved
you what.
outside. But listen, you got to take into consideration that Wembanyama came from a different style of play. That European style of play over in France. I mean, different guys. But it don't matter because we have people like
Shaq. Shaq 7'1", man. Shaq ain't like Shaq 6'5". Shaq 7'1".
Yeah.
What was Wembanyama gonna do just something like that?
Wembanyama's like a stick next to Shaq. Would not stand a chance down low.
One thing I'm trying to say, the game changed so much.
Yeah,
changed that much.
You got a 7'5" guy out there, and you can't. If you're gonna play small ball, the average guy that's on him is probably no more than 6'8", 6'. He's supposed to be down low, and he should be killing them down low. You don't need a whole lot of weight if you're 7'5".
Well, let me ask you this then.
Change, I'm saying.
Who in the league is holding him now? Ain't no Shaq there. Who in the league holding him now?
He dominate even more down low then.
I did what they got to do with Shaq.
He's dominating.
No. I just
but he's dominating with an all-around game. If you watch Wembanyama, he's
Right.
outside. He's all over the place.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he all over the place. He don't just shoot jumpers now.
Yeah, the only one that gives him any real trouble, Milwaukee and Denver, they're centers, and they don't really guard him when he's on the outside.
And Shaq wouldn't either.
They're defending the paint. They're down there down low trying to defend the paint. And Wembanyama, like I said, he's a different breed of player, and it's because of where he came from and the way he's played the entire time he's been playing basketball. So I really can't compare Wembanyama to the guys back in the day. If he came down low, Patrick Ewing was only 7'1", I believe. If Wembanyama
is 7'1".
Yeah, well, if he brought his game down low, they'd be picking the ball up in the fourth row every time. Wembanyama be wondering, what's wrong with my shot? It's called Patrick Ewing.
And you know what, Ernie?
Yeah.
They would beat on him so much he wouldn't even come down low.
He'd stay outside on purpose.
You know what I mean? He'd be just like Sean Bradley. Remember Sean Bradley?
Let me go back a little bit, Cruz. Let me take you back a little bit. I would put in his prime a Willis Reed and a Wes Unseld up to be able to hold Wembanyama down if they played in their prime.
Hey, Ernie, you see what Willis Reed did to Wilt Chamberlain?
Come on here now.
You know what I'm saying? If he held Wilt Chamberlain what, 7'2", 7'3"?
Yep.
And
every bit of what, 260 pounds?
And Willis Reed wasn't even a 7-footer.
No, he wasn't.
Wes Unseld, what, 6'9"?
6'9".
6'7".
Yeah,
Wes Unseld was 6'7".
But my point is, those centers back in that day would have given guys like Wimbiana the business. Wimbiana, if they played old school ball, Wimbiana wouldn't stand a chance against them guys. You know,
he had to soak his ribs every game.
But he would take them outside.
The ones you put on the grill either.
No, they didn't play that in them days. The center was standing, and somebody they'd play a zone, and one of them guards would pick him up outside. You don't need no big man to pick him up outside.
Yeah, you don't need big man hold him outside.
I remember when Dave Collins used to take Kareem outside. Sometimes Dave Collins, he had a little jump shot.
Yeah.
Outside because they wanted to get Kareem away from the basket.
But you know what? When they figured it out, think about it. When they figured it out, Kareem stopped chasing Collins, and who did he put on him? If Worthy or Cooper wasn't on him.
You know, this is real good. It's scored to 7 already. It's scored. I didn't get to. All right, this is real good.
Move on,
listen.
Great show, brother. Great show.
Yes.
But that's what Dave Collins used to bring up. Take Kareem outside, right or wrong.
Come on to the next one. Don't try to slide yours in there.
But now, what was the adjustment, though, Jerry? Let's talk about the adjustment. What happened when Collins took Kareem outside? Did they not switch Cooper on him? Did they not switch Worthy on him? Who was the other big man they had?
Cooper now. I'm talking about in the 70s.
Yeah, but Jerry, back then they didn't have too many centers that shot that shot, man.
And you're right about that. Collins was late 70s, early 80s, wasn't he?
Collins was left-handed and he shot that shot, but they had guys like Jack Sigma.
Yeah, but he was a shooter from that range as well with Dave Collins. Anyway, Bishop, who had a better career, Shaq or Tim Duncan? Who had the better career? Both of them played 19 years to 20 years. At the end, who had the better career?
Tim Duncan.
I'm getting ready to say that, Bruce, but thank you. You stole the words right out my mouth.
Yeah, without a doubt, Tim Duncan.
When you look at the stats, you can say Tim Duncan, but if you want to talk about sheer dominance, you have to say Shaq.
Right.
We're going to say the better career. We're talking stats. We're talking numbers. We're talking, and I mean, Shaq, I think, had more championships than Duncan.
I think Duncan got 5, don't he?
He got 5.
He got 4. I thought he had 4.
No, he got 5.
And Ray Allen, he could have been 6-0 like Michael.
Yeah. But basically, I mean, Duncan did have a better career, and he had a good cast of players around him. That was the
fundamentalist, right?
Yes, exactly. Tony Parker was a guard, man.
Underrated.
Very underrated. Yeah, you know, and what's my other man's name? I call him the madman. He'll take any shot.
Ginobili.
Yeah. He'll take any shot on the court. He don't care if it's up in the stands. He's going to take the shot if he got it. But you know what? And so Tim Duncan, to me, would be the better player. Would have been the more dominant, better career.
It's a real tough one, but I'm only going to go with Shaq because if Shaq was sitting over here, he would say he's the best. He was the best. In Shaq's mind, he was the best.
Nah, I'm not talking about far as charisma or being dominant, dunking the ball and playing for the Lakers compared to playing for San Antonio.
Well, you say who had a better career?
Who had a better career at the end?
I don't see Duncan's career no better than Shaq's except for he got one more ring. Shaq had a great career. He can't complain, even though he left the Lakers and went to Miami and got one. Okay. I mean, we look at LeBron James, he bounced all around.
The championship game with Orlando.
I know you mentioned Shaq had a great career. Yeah. Okay, I mean, out of Shaq, like Shaq played in Orlando about 4 years. He did good, him and Penny. Then he went to the Lakers. You know, got to be with Kobe, him and Kobe. Mm-hmm. Then but that was like 7 years before he won. Mm-hmm. Then he went to Miami. And he got one with Dwayne.
Both of them did great. I mean, it's hard to pick like that. Both of them did great.
No. San Antonio went to the playoffs. But 20 straight years.
Did it with one team.
20 straight years, San Antonio was in the playoffs. 20 years. That Tim Duncan led them to the playoffs.
Now, the thing, Jared, keep in mind, Duncan did everything he did with his championships. One team only. I agree. And that for that reason, I'm going to give the edge to Duncan. He didn't have to move around, didn't have to change players. A couple of new players came in, but Duncan was the main piece. They built around him, which was smart. Popovich was a great coach. What are you going to do?
Right. No, because Donald said Shaq had a great career, which he did. Out of 20 years, out of Shaq 20 years, I would say Shaq 20 years, 20 years, 20 years. Shaq 20 years, 20 years. Out of 20 years, out of Shaq 20 years, I would say Shaq 20 years, 20 years. Out of 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 Shaq 20 years, 20 years. I'll give him 7 good years. Because first of all, he was always out of shape, number one. All right, he couldn't hit free throws, number two. At the end of the game, you couldn't put him in the game because of the Hacker Shack. All right. So and then Kobe and Dwayne Wade bailed him out. Even Penny Hardaway bailed him out. So
I agree.
If I look at it out of his 20 years, he played for the Celtics, he played for the Cleveland Cavaliers, he played for the Phoenix Suns, he played for the Lakers, played for Orlando, and his prime was with the Lakers, with Kobe and them three in that 4 years period. After that, well, what did Shaq really do on his own?
He should have stayed with the Lakers.
But what did he really
have
do?
to leave the Lakers. He should have stayed with Kobe. He probably would have got him 2 more rings.
Exactly.
I believe that.
That was just a dumb move he made.
Well, Kobe didn't want to play with him because Shaq always came out of shape.
Kobe ran him out of town.
He could have fixed that if he wanted to.
No. Shaq used to come to training camp out of shape.
Right. He could have fixed that.
There was times Kobe didn't even pass on the ball.
But Jerry, saying that they still won the ring.
And they should have won more.
But I'm saying it wasn't because Shaq was out of shape.
Well, it wasn't no way Detroit Pistons should have beat the Lakers in 2004 with Ben Wallace beating Shaq the way he did. No way. No way.
Hey, Ben Wallace, he played smart ball. Ben
Wallace didn't even score.
Hey, Ben Wallace in the Hall of Fame, ain't he?
All right.
In the Hall of Fame.
That's all that counts.
All right, Bruce, who's going to be the new face for the league after LeBron James retire? But I mean the new face.
Wow.
I mean the person. Dr. J was the face, came from the ABA. He was the one that emerged the ABA and the NBA together. We know what Doc brought to the table. After Doc, we know Magic and Bird came along. But Michael was the next one that they groomed to make that the face of the league. And after Mike, LeBron came in. Well, Kobe did it for a little while. But Kobe was more like Mike. LeBron came along and took over everything. Who's going to be the next LeBron after LeBron retires?
Yeah, but see, that's a tough question right now because at first they wanted
Morant.
They wanted Morant.
They wanted Zion first too.
Yeah, but they wanted but either one, they both faded out.
Yep.
Zion faded out because he can't stay on the court. And John messed up with his reputation.
Yeah.
So that's a tough one right now. I mean, Tatum don't have the charisma to be the face.
Nope.
You know what I mean? So that's
Giannis can't do it. Wemby probably won't do it.
Right.
The Joker is not going to be the face. I'm trying to find one player. Luka's got a good shot at it.
Luka got a good shot.
Luka's got a good shot at it.
I don't think Luka will end up being that though. As good as he is, I don't see him
considering Steph Curry.
No, but
Steph on his way out. Steph on his way out.
Bishop.
Yeah, they're gonna be Steph.
Curry been playing about
but my point is they didn't even consider him. Okay.
No, LeBron's still playing.
Right. That's because LeBron's still here, right?
Even Kevin Durant couldn't do it because LeBron's still here. Kevin Durant goes, LeBron goes, Steph Curry goes, Giannis, Luka, the Joker, Anthony Edwards, Zion Wemby.
That's another one. That's another one there. Anthony Edwards might end up. He could be. Yeah. He got. I think he got the biggest edge over everybody.
He got the flair.
But if we're gonna go there, you do have to include Tatum in that mix. He may not become, but you still got to include him in the mix. Let's see what happens over the next couple of years. Yeah, I agree with that, Ernie, because he got that ring. Yeah, exactly.
That made a big difference.
That's the biggest. But he wasn't MVP though. He wasn't MVP though.
I mean, no difference. He got the ring, and they still look at Tatum.
Jerry sit right next to Dunstable. He wasn't MVP though. He wasn't.
Hey, Ernie, and they still talk about Tatum more than they do Brown.
They sure do.
But Bishop, that'd be just like Michael Jordan. He's the face of the league, and he's the man. But Scottie Pippen get the MVP. Okay, or Steph.
You know what?
Oh, listen. Steph and Klay Thompson was the Splash Brothers, but Iguodala get the MVP. That's what I'm looking at. If you're the leader of the team, ain't no way Iguodala gonna get the MVP, and it's my team.
Here it is, and I hear what you're saying, and I can't disagree with how you're bringing it in. But
I disagree because Iguodala got it. if what he's saying is true, Steph would have got it.
Who's the Splash Brothers?
Did they get it?
Who they were supposed to get it?
Ain't no such thing as posing. We talk about. I agree. I always said Steph got robbed. But what we saying, the best on the team don't always get the MVP.
Yeah.
And Iguodala proved that.
Yeah.
But if the MVP, Giannis got it when they won. The Joker got it when they won. Did he get it, Bruce? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, but listen, we agree with that. The best player on the team usually get it.
That's right.
That's always fact because of Iguodala.
And I totally agree because that's what Steph.
You know, we saying the same thing, but it ain't always the best man on the team.
I'm gonna tell you like this: take Iguodala out and Golden State lose a couple of championships.
Donald said the Shaq get it over Kobe. The answer is yes.
But then Kobe was the best player.
Yeah, but Shaq was
That's
the
a
more
great
dominant.
point. That is a great point.
Shaq was the more dominant.
No. At that time, Shaq was in his prime. Shaq was in his prime.
He was in his prime, but Kobe was the engineer.
Kobe,
listen, Gary. Kobe was the one that had made that engine run. Let's just put it like that, okay? They could bring the towel boy off the doggone bench, and Kobe would figure out how to get him involved in the game. And any garbage that needed to be cleaned up, that was Shaq's job.
Right, and that's why he got it. If Shaq wasn't as dominant as he was, he wouldn't have got that MVP over Kobe.
But at that
They
time,
got the hacker Shaq. All that was going on at that time, too.
But at that time,
And he still had 35.
but in that period, Shaq was in his prime at that time. Well, nobody,
So
nobody gonna know. No, Kobe
Gary,
wasn't.
hold
Kobe
on, Gary.
was not in his prime.
So was Kobe.
Kobe was not
Listen, even in his prime, see, you said it earlier. Shaq could not shoot a foul shot. If somebody was threatening to take all Shaq's money and all you gotta do is make one foul shot, Shaq gonna be broke. Okay.
So all I'm saying, though, but at that time with the Lakers, Shaq was nobody beating Shaq at that time.
But
Right.
listen, we're not denying that.
That's why he got MVP.
Yeah.
I'll answer in a minute. I'll answer. When Kobe came to the Lakers, and him and Shaq came the same year in '96.
Right.
The same year.
Right.
Kobe was coming off the bench.
Right.
Kobe wasn't even starting. Shaq was the man on that team. So when I'm saying to you, Shaq was in his prime, and Shaq led them to 3 consecutive championships, and Kobe played a major role. I'm not disagreeing with that. But wasn't nobody beating Shaq at that era, at that time.
When it was time to get rid of one of who to get rid of.
Because I told you why. Because Shaq wanted more money. He didn't get in shape, and the Lakers just lost to Detroit.
Kobe, see, you can say Shaq was the man. A lot of people gonna disagree with you on that. A lot of people gonna say Kobe was the man.
Then why didn't Kobe get the MVP then? I'm gonna ask you that.
Because Bruce made that point. They don't always give it to the man.
No, I'm asking for three in a row.
They don't always give it to the man.
No,
That's
three
why.
in a row. Man, I'm not talking about 1 or 2.
And Jerry,
Yeah.
Shaq didn't have no mid-range shot. He didn't have no floater.
Yeah.
He didn't have no kind of shot. But he was the most. They look at him as being one of the most dominant that ever played the game, and that's what made the difference. Shaq played old school center.
But
He didn't play that no lollipop.
Do you agree with me that at that time, from 2001?
I definitely agree. Wasn't nobody beating them. I agree.
That's all I'm saying, Doc. Now, because even Tim Duncan came in the league almost the same year, but at that time, Shaq was in his prime. It's like Michael was in his prime, LeBron was in his prime in Miami, and the first part of Cleveland. A certain players in their prime at a certain time.
So
you want to beat Shaq. You want to beat Shaq at that time.
What was Kobe at that time?
Kobe was in his prime, probably.
He wasn't the Mamba. He wasn't the Mamba yet.
He wasn't the Mamba, right? Kobe was in his prime probably when Shaq left, because now he had more freedom.
Yeah.
But I'll say Kobe was in his prime. He came in the league in '96. Probably by 2006, when he scored like 81 points and all that, he was in his prime then.
Yeah, but still, like Don said, he still played a major role,
without a doubt,
in them games. Now,
Robert Horry.
He wasn't raw.
Robert Horry.
You can't mention Kobe like he was raw. He was still a monster.
Yeah, but Robert Horry played a major role. So did Derek Fisher, Phil Jackson.
Yeah, they had a great team. They had a great team.
Never really played behind Shaq.
Hey, wasn't Lamar Wasn't Lamar Odom on one of them teams?
Yeah.
No. Lamar Odom got traded for Shaq.
Right.
He didn't get no rings. He didn't get no
He
rings.
played with Kobe, but not with Shaq, because they traded. When they got Lamar Odom, they traded Shaq to Miami to get Lamar.
All right. Yep.
Well, Shaq and Lamar never played together. Kobe and Lamar did.
That might have been a nice combination.
Kobe time, I'm just saying, at that time, Shaq was in his prime, and wasn't nobody beating Shaq in that 3 or 4 year period. Even when Shaq went to Miami, he was still a dominant player, and that's why he helped Miami win. When he came there, he said, I guarantee Miami a championship." He was still an effective player, but he needed that guard. So I'm not a Shaq guy, but I'll give credit when at that time he was dominant.
Better believe
it. Your argument's well taken, but going back to the question you asked, I still say Tim Duncan had a better career. I'm a
right.
Hey, that's my final. That's my.
That too. Okay, the final one is 7 o'clock. Donald asked this question of Mike Tyson. Should Mike Tyson be ashamed of his performance against Jake Paul? And also, Holyfield called him out for a trilogy. And do you think Mike should take that fight with Holyfield or leave it alone? But the first question, should Holyfield be ashamed? Not Holyfield.
No, I don't think Tyson should be ashamed because the contract literally handcuffed him. Because you would see, if you go back and watch the first round, Jake Paul would have been done in the first round. Because Tyson has this move that when he comes under, you throw a right or left cross, that uppercut's just waiting to take your chin out. And it looked like he was getting ready to unload, and he caught himself. I said, I know this is a publicity stunt.
Yeah, but why did they have them restrictions in the contract where Mike couldn't be Mike?
No, but you could go now. If you go back and watch the fight, I don't know if you guys. I got the TV, the Fire Stick. You can go back and watch. You can go back and watch it. I was looking at that. I said to myself,
"Yeah, but they said that. They said that, Ernie. They said they had restrictions.
Yeah, they did.
Mike couldn't be Mike.
He wouldn't have lost some money. He got paid pretty much by every round that he left.
Exactly.
Hey, Jerry, that fight was all about money. Holyfield hadn't been even open his mouth.
Yeah.
That fight, everybody know that fight. This man 58, 59 years old.
Okay, Mike
it was all about that money, that $20 million.
Mike came out there with a knee brace on, number one. How many fighters you ever see come out with a knee brace? I mean,
listen, for 20 million, I'd have come out there with 2 knee braces.
How many fighters, Jerry, are 58 years old?
Exactly.
To find out what they were saying about the contract. Once you read that, come back and give us your opinion there.
I will.
Read that first.
But what I'm saying,
because all the other stuff don't even matter. Because the first 2 rounds,
right. That's right.
Mike could have took that boy when you look at it.
Yeah,
the first 2. After that, no.
I knew Mike was done after the first round. when Mike came out. When Mike came out, he tried. He was like the regular Mike. And Jake Paul, he held back too now. All right, it wasn't like he came out aggressive either.
He held back
but if they got restrictions in Mike's contract, you better believe they ain't gonna allow Paul to go off on Mike either now.
Yeah, but
and Bruce, to Bruce's point, think about it. To Bruce's point, if Paul had gone off on Mike Tyson, he'd have pissed Mike off. Michael said, "The heck with the money. This dude's gonna swallow his teeth."
Well, that almost happened when he bowed at Mike, and then he looked like, all right, I better not get too carried away because Mike might hit me. You gotta read that contract before you make your decision.
I'll read the contract, but Donna, you don't agree.
You can't tie the man's hands up like that. Then
nope.
Y'all don't think Mike was done after the first round?
Mike was done. His hands were still tired. He might.
I think Mike was done after the 3rd round, not the 1st round.
You know what I mean? His hands were tired. When you read that contract, that's what messed everything up.
When I watched the girls,
Jerry, you want my opinion? I think Mike had a beer in the water bucket. We just didn't know it.
Listen, you watch the girls before the Mike Tyson fight?
Oh yeah, them girls.
Did you watch the 2 girls?
They were going.
They were
going at it.
Bruce,
wow. That was their second fight, though.
Oh, yeah.
Bruce, you see the girls?
Yeah, but they wasn't 58 years old.
What I'm saying to you, after when Mike came out, looked good. Mike was weaving a little bit, but at the end of the first round, Mike was done.
Yeah,
Mike was tired.
It's impossible that Mike could
have. No, man.
And Jerry, that's why Hey, Jerry, that's why they had everything, all that money based on rounds.
That's right.
Because they knew Mike was 58, and they said, look, we're not going to pay you. You're going to take a fall and get all this money. We're going to make you earn this money. And to earn this money, you got to prove that you can go more. If you only go one round, you only get 10%.
Wow.
If you only go 2 rounds, you get 20%.
20%.
Hey, Bruce, they also had a clause in there that he could knock Jake Paul out in the first round.
I know. That's what I said.
That's what handcuffed him.
Earlier.
That's what handcuffed him.
They handcuffed him. He could not throw his uppercut at any point in the fight. And that was his signature move right there.
Okay, I'm not saying that they didn't have a clause that Mike couldn't do certain things. I'm just saying I didn't see Mike capable of even doing it because of his age.
Yeah, you right.
They didn't think like you. They were scared. They didn't take no chance.
Right.
I mean,
Even if you're right, they didn't take no chance.
first of all, Mike packed it up. Everybody came to see Mike, even myself. Everybody came to see Mike.
We know who packed it up.
And Jerry, you're exactly right what you're saying. That's why they made him earn money by rounds.
By round.
Because they knew it's a possibility this guy might be finished after one round.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw something
the guy swing at him hard, he fall down. Now he getting all that $20 million.
Now, let me throw something at you, Jerry. That same promoter that promoted this fight was at the Michael Spinks Mike Tyson fight.
Okay.
And he saw Tyson take Spinks out in what, 30-something, a minute and 2 seconds in the first round. Spinks ran until Tyson cut the corners off. And now I told you guys this story. I know we got to get ready to go in a little bit. We still got to figure out who the top 5.
Okay, Bishop, let me stop for a second. But you brought that up. But the only bad example about that, Mike was in his prime when he knocked out.
Yeah, and no, I'm not talking about him. I'm not talking about the knockout. I'm not talking about knockout. What that promoter didn't want to see happen, you had a lot of people that in between the fights went to go get beer, soda, chips, whatever. And before they could get back to their seats, the fight was over.
Mike was in his prime, though. I mean, I remember on my wedding day when Mike beat Joe Frazier's son, Marvis Frazier.
And he had no business fighting Frazier. That to me,
the fight was over.
I'm gonna tell you like that fight should have never happened.
Right, except for the fact they made that contract this method. Mike would have never lasted.
No.
Would have never went. You see his knees buckle.
Mike Bailey
would have never lasted.
Mike Bailey made
that first round he did look pretty good, and then he had excuses too when you listen to his story. Back here in June, he was almost dead or something.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I heard that.
Going on. Yeah, but you know what? I mean, I'm happy that he got.
I don't think Mike would have lasted. That's why they made it 2-minute round.
Yeah,
for 8 rounds. 8 rounds. That was 16 minutes, and the man had $20 million in his pocket. For Tyson to make that money.
Listen, and I don't know if anybody. I'll fight Mike Tyson for $20 million, and he can throw. and he can throw the hook, as long as I get my money. Yeah, as long as I get my money up front, because I got to pay medical bills once he throw that hook. I don't care if he's still 58 years old. He still packs a powerful punch. And that's why they had to protect Jake Paul, okay? They still had to protect Jake Paul.
You brought up some picks. Something you want to do or something before we go?
We did
we can do the picks, and I'm going to be honest with you. Two things. You wanted to go through the top 5. Who do we think is the top 5 teams in the NFL? And I don't know if you want to mix them or you just want to
just mix them.
Mix. All right. First and foremost, for the picks for this week, Henry with 10, myself with 10, and Larry with 10. Everybody else that got in, 3 of y'all, Don, Jerry, and Pastor T, you all missed the Thursday night game. That's why I be trying to text you guys.
I got mine in, right?
Last night.
Mine should be in.
Who's WJRG Sports? That's who I got.
Yeah, but mine should be in. I did mine before I left the studio.
All right. Well, you're not actually. You're not showing up
this week, Bruce. I think he's going back.
He's going back last week.
Yeah.
This week you talking?
Oh, you give him the score?
I'm talking week 11. That's what
you give him the score for the games that already passed.
Yeah. We didn't do this weekend.
Oh, all right. I wasn't in on that.
Our picks are in, but we'll do it Tuesday.
Yeah, but now getting to the thing you wanted to do as we get ready to close, Jerry. You said the top 5. Let me do this is my top 5. You want top 5 or top 10?
Yeah.
Top five.
All right, top five. I'm going Lions 1, Chiefs 2. I don't want to put the Eagles over the Vikings, but I have to because of how well they're playing. Vikings at 4, Bills at 5.
Okay.
That's my top 5.
Who you got, Bruce?
I got Detroit number 1.
Mm-hmm.
I got Philly number 2. I got Kansas City number 3. Matter of fact, I'm gonna switch up a little bit. I'm gonna keep Kansas City number 3. I've got Buffalo at number 4, and I'm gonna slide. Man, I don't know who the 5th team is.
Cowboys.
No, they brought number 28.
Like 32, more like.
Yeah, I throw the Vikings in there at 5.
All right. Who you got, Don? I got.
I'm going with the Lions. I'm going with the Bills as number 2. I'm going with the Chiefs as number 3. Who do I want number 4? I'm going to go
Buffalo.
with the Eagles.
Buffalo.
No, I'm going to go with the Eagles as number 4. I'm going to give Baltimore number 5. Baltimore number 5.
Wow.
All right.
I forgot my Baltimore. Baltimore is my number 5 too.
Mine's
Minnesota out of there.
Mine is Detroit. I'm gonna go with the Bills number 2. I'm going with Philly number 3. The Ravens number 4, and I got the Chiefs number 5.
That's all right. I don't mind.
Yeah, we all got the same. We all got the same 5.
By the way, just so you know, for everybody that got in on week 12, we were all losers this week, thanks to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Nobody won today. Nobody
got that right.
All right, so far we all lost.
All right,
We
y'all.
all lost.
Hey, I know ain't nobody picked Cleveland.
Hey, we're gonna pick it up on Tuesday, man. I gotta do an interview at 8 o'clock or a little after 8. But let me close out in prayer tonight and take my hat off. Father God, we thank you for another beautiful night of sports tonight, Lord, on a Friday with Sports Talk. I want to thank you for Bishop Ernest, our legend, Bruce Austin, Big Don from Big Don Production, and myself. Also to my brother Henry, Dr. Walter Teague, my brother-in-law Larry, and Kendall Tyson, and Bob McCormick. Everyone that's a part of this sports team. Bless us, Lord, tonight, Lord. Keep the friendship alive, Lord. Let us have fun in you, Lord, so we can let the listeners and the viewers see, Father God, that we can have fun as Christians and just be having fun in general in you, Lord. We love you tonight. We just thank you for our television ministry tonight, the radio ministry, and continue to bless Power to Stand Outreach Ministries and Bishop Ernest Richard and his wife, First Lady Sharon, Lord, as they continue with their ministry as well on television and all the ministries on KIM, Lord. Continue to bless us. And we just thank you, Lord, for just blessing us and our families tonight. We love you. We magnify you. And we're going to pick it up again Tuesday and bring more viewers, Lord, so we can have fun in you again. In Jesus' name I pray, amen and amen.
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 Have a blessed weekend.
Don't forget to put the rest of your picks in if you ain't finished.
Mine's already in.
Got him in.
Tuesday night, 6 o'clock, everybody. God bless.
Hey, we'll see you then. Go Vikings.
WJRG Television Network.
Knicks.
Later.